coming to you live on Sky Sports from Leeds. And this is the Betway Premier League darts brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation. We are live on Sky Sports, and now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet the players. The winner of 10 PDC ranking events, it's Chizzy Dave Chisnall!
I'm so dizzy, my head is spinning like a whirlpool that never ends. And it's you, girl, making it spin. You're making me dizzy. Girl, you've got control of me, 'cause I'm so dizzy I can see I need to call a doctor.
Champion and reigning World Grand Prix champion, it's the born Robert Thornton!
At Sky Sports Darts, our Twitter account. Joining the fun, the banter. Who's going to win this one, Robert Thornton or Dave Chisnall? Chizzy, 2015 semi-finalist. It's won aces for fun. Could he get a 9 dart in this year's competition against Robert Thornton, making a welcome return to the competition? A real spoiler back in 2014. Did a lot of damage in the Betway Premier League. One more match to go. Adrian Lewis, Michael Smith following this. Let's get this one up and running with Wayne Mardle and Stuart Pike.
Yes, thanks Dave. You mentioned the 9-darter. The last Premier League 9-darter came back in 2012. We are overdue. I wonder if it'll happen during this 2016 campaign. Well, you'd have got long odds on the opening night, seeing both Michael van Gerwen and Phil Taylor losing. It's been some start to the Premier League this year, and I wonder what Robert Thornton and Dave Chisnall can serve up in the next half hour or so.
11. Robert Thornton. Wow. Nervy start or just 3 bad darts? We shall see. But Robert, he wasn't in the Premier League last year. He's back in the World Top 10. That was because of a fantastic, fabulous win in the World Grand Prix, where he beat Michael van Gerwen in the final. On his day, he's an absolute menace, isn't he? And Dave Chisnall has got this newfound consistency. So nearly won the league phase last year. And as you already said, Stuart, got beaten in the semi-finals against Gary Anderson. Had 3 darts.
60.
That's it to get through. He was bitterly disappointed. So he should be.
I think goes down as one of the biggest disappointments of his career. He was exceptional throughout, wasn't he? So
It's always more disappointing when you don't reach, well, when you've had an opportunity to reach a major final and don't, when you haven't won one. When you've won one, you can kind of, okay, it'll come again or something will happen. But when you haven't won a major, which Dave Chisnell hasn't, he's lost in the final of the World Championships in the video, the final of the Grand Prix to Phil Taylor, and the final of the Grand Slam to Phil Taylor. And last week, the Masters to Michael van Gerwen. For the first leg, 60. Well, oh, superb.
yeah, Chizzy still believes. He believes he will. It's in his destiny to win a big one. And I won't argue with him.
I think he's getting better as a player. I don't think he's on the decline at all. Double 16. First leg, Dave Chisnell.
Yeah, against the darts as well. And I wonder, you know, how much what happened at the weekend is playing on Robert Thornton's mind. We're going to find the answer very shortly. To be 8-0 up in a big event and lose 10-9. He missed darts for 9-0 as well, Wayne. And, you know, it takes some getting over. But Chizzy has settled in very nicely. Thank you very much.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Robert Thornton and Dave Chisnell played in the first round of the Masters on Saturday. Robert was 8-0 up in a race to 10. Eventually lost 10-9, but only had 3 darts at a double in all those legs. It was a capitulation in front, which is odd. You can start to protect, which is clearly what he did, but Dave just ploughed on. He just carried on.
Mentally scarred, I wonder, after that. We shall see, but at the moment one player is playing very well, and you have to say at the moment the other isn't.
Well, things have been happening to Robert that suggest that he isn't playing well. 8-0 up and losing. This to lose the second leg. Tops for Chizzy. 2-0 it is. And in the World Championships, Robert was the highest seed to lose in the first round. Things like that are happening. When you're playing well, they don't.
42.
Well, this is a real struggle for the Scot here.
59.
Both in their third Premier League campaigns, and Thornton came 5th on his Premier League debut. He was really good. That was 2013, and then a year later finished 8th, won only 2 out of 16 games. So it's a tough old 4 months, isn't it?
Yeah, the Premier League can be an absolute joy to play in, and when you're playing well, it really is. But
when you're not,
yeah, when you're not and averaging 65, then it's not going to be the best place for you. But that'll change. It'll get better and better. Robert Thornton is a quality operator. Dave Chisnell made a brilliant start last year, winning 4 of his first 5, and the other one was a draw. So if he can replicate
60.
that, he's going to be in the mix again. But his scoring, finishing, is that of a potential champion.
100.
yeah, that win for Robert Thornton in the Grand Prix in Dublin when he beat Michael van Gerwen in a fabulous final. How about this for double 16?
86.
But it defined his year. It was the highlight, as you say. Since then, it hasn't got to script.
Well, there were so many first and second round exits as well in majors. And Dave Chisnell has just not been under any pressure at all in any of these 3 legs. And the longer it continues, it becomes harder and harder for Robert to perform. This is not the situation that we had earlier with Michael van Gerwen and James Wade, because James was playing okay. He wasn't playing great, don't get me wrong, he's only higher.
From Dave Chisnall.
So he's come alive. Slightly.
He's woken up.
Yeah. But Chizzy may just stop him in his tracks. Another back to back. When your opponent has started a leg with 140, 140, you're doing well to hit 2 180s in it. What a leg.
64, Dave require 81.
One thing's for certain, Dave Chisnall would have expected a much tougher test than this. He can scarcely believe that it's this easy.
56, Robert, you require 157.
Looking dangerous, isn't he? Chizzy, 57 now. Clearly annoyed. Triple 18 to leave 24.
133.
He's left it. Would he get a poke at it? Because Dave wants 9, double 8.
Well, that hurts. It's as close as Robert Thornton has come. But a 77 average, and he still hasn't had a dart and a double.
Struggling.
24.
It's never nice to see anyone play poorly, especially in a Premier League, because you know that week after week you've got to get up there and perform. It's not one of those get beat and go home situations.
100.
You've got to keep going. Just keep going and hope that something changes.
There's a lot to be said for just carrying on. Got to do it. Michael Smith had a
60.
bit of a darting disaster first on against Peter Wright, but he'll be back to play Adrian Lewis after this. It's an important game for Michael Smith already
43.
in his debut this year. The only debutant in it.
Well, if you are just joining us, just to explain why Michael Smith is playing twice tonight on the opening
59.
night here in Leeds. His Premier League debut, the young man. The world champion, defending Premier League champion Gary Anderson is ill. He's picked up a really bad virus, and he was ruled out. Doctor came to visit him at the hotel, and no way that he can play. So Michael Smith playing twice. Hopefully Gary Anderson will be back in action in Newcastle on week 2.
Well, you say Michael Smith playing twice. Robert Thornton, he's probably feeling like he's not even playing at all. He's just having one of those days. He cannot do anything right. Even with the last start there, the only thing he couldn't hit was a 1. The 180 would have been a bit of a confidence booster.
43.
And he's now dragging Dave down.
43. Dave require 100.
Only 5 whitewashes in the history of the Premier League. Just 5.
Game shot on the fifth play.
Dave Chisnall
Dave Chisnall
is hoping that he can make it 6.
Game on.
You're going to read them out now, aren't you?
Do you want me to?
No, I'd rather not.
Wayne
Just
Mardle
concentrate on the game, man.
was beaten 8-0 by Phil Taylor.
Will you just stop it?
Colin Lloyd beat Terry Jenkins 8-0. James Wade beat Simon Whitlock 8-0.
99.
And Michael van Gerwen, who can forget that 7-0 whitewash of Phil Taylor 2 years ago, and then the 7-0 whitewash of James Wade 12 months ago.
85.
Well, that's your claim to Premier League fame, right?
Yeah, of course it is. Yes. Oh dear. Go on, Chizzy.
140.
Well, Robert, whilst it's not been a good display from him at all, to lose 7-0 would just make it that amount worse, where it's always, if you lose 7-0, it's always there.
Yeah.
It's always, forever. 7-1s, no one cares, or 8-1s, no one cares when it was that back in the day. But anything to nil on a whitewash. It just keeps being brought up like you just did. You can't help it.
60.
On top of the defeat that he suffered to Chisnall at the weekend as well, this is potentially very damaging for Thornton as far as the Premier League is concerned.
89.
Well, if he does lose 7-0, he'll have lost 17 out of the last 18 legs to Dave Chisnall. Wow.
60.
Well, number 7
73.
is struggling. 57. Again, look at what Robert Thornton is on. Absolute miles back. 88. This is clinical. This is quality.
I have to say, as far as Dave Chisnall is concerned, he has been
55.
ruthless. He knows his opponent is struggling. He knows that he's going to win this game. It's a matter of when rather than if. He knows it's going to be a comfortable victory, but he has stayed focused and he has been ruthless.
He really has.
140.
But the loss aversion syndrome might come in now for Robert. He might find something, because he needs to. You can get to the cusp of losing and think, I've got to stop this happening. And let's hope that Robert can. No one likes to see a whitewash. I don't care who you are. It's not nice for the person it's happening to, knowing that they are world class and a brilliant player on their day.
Well, you feel for him. It's embarrassing, isn't it? But large TV audience, massive darting stage, opening night of the Premier League,
81.
sell-out crowd here in Leeds, and then this happens.
60.
Oh, my.
151.
Any treble here. And Robert Thornton, well, he may not even come back for the 117. That was for the whitewash.
190.
Robert Thornton needs to take out 117. You would think that leaves tops. Can he get it? The answer is no. For 7-0.
32.
His first dart at a double. Is it his only dart at the double? Dave Chisnall to complete only the 6th whitewash in Premier League history. Dave Chisnall, it's easy for Chizzy, a nightmare for Thornton. It's 7-0.
Michael Smith is coming next, and he is playing twice world champ Adrian Lewis.
Fourth match of the evening and our first whitewash of the 2016 Premier League. 7-0, Chizzy beats Robert Thornton, who averaged just 75.68. This is what we've seen so far. Peter Snakebite Wright beating the Bully Boy 7-2. The world number 1 upset by former champion, the Machine, James Wade. 103.6 average from Barney. A 7-2 victory over the power Phil Taylor. 101.16 average from Dave Chisnall in a whitewash victory over Scotsman Robert Thornton. And one more match to come this evening. Two-time champion of the world Adrian Lewis against Michael Smith, who steps in for Gary Anderson, who's ill. And it's Dave Chisnall who tops the table. Plus 7 legs difference, 2 points, level on 2 points with Barney, Peter Wright and James Wade. Let's hear from Chizzy now, talking to Stuart Pike.
Well, I bet you can't believe that. 7-0 in about 12 minutes flat.
Well, he didn't play as good as he did in the first 8 legs of Milton Keynes, so I played okay. I was happy, I was hitting the doubles. That's darts, isn't it? You can have one good game and you can lose it, and then you can just not play well, and that's what he did.
Well, you were ruthless. Was it difficult to stay focused, knowing how poorly your opponent was playing?
Yeah, I just worked on it. I knew he was playing bad, and I just thought, if I keep playing out just steady darts, I'm going to win, and that's what happened.
Well, you had the psychological edge over him after the comeback win at the Masters at the weekend, and he was suffering, and you just raced through.
Well, I don't think he's got over that yet, but every game's different. And when he went up with 11, I thought, his darts just kick in. I went ton, and I just went from there then.
Well, you came very close, very, very close last year. You're going to be in the mix again for the Premier League this year, that's for sure.
Yes, I'm going to give it 100% like I always do. And tonight has been a great start for me, so let's carry on.
Well done, Dave.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, Dave Chisholm played brilliantly last year. 7-0 is going to give him a massive confidence boost going into this season.
He's been playing well for a long time, and as Stuart alluded to, he played brilliant last year throughout the league phase. After 16 weeks, he was averaging just over a ton. It was 100 there. It's the way he plays now. There's none of this great big jerk with the head sort of shooting backwards and him going low and the darts high. He's in control of his game. He's in control of his mind. He's got a brilliant team. He's the full package. He just hasn't crossed that line and won a big one yet. I think it's a matter of time, but I thought it was quite interesting the way he alluded to Robert Thornton. I knew he wasn't playing well. He obviously got that from the weekend after being 8-0 down and then winning. There's a lot of players already showing frailties, a vulnerability. Phil, we know he's not playing 100%. Michael, even though he lost, he's showing no frailties at all. But you saw from, especially there, from Robert Thornton, Michael Smith as well. He's got to put that right the next game. There are some that if they continue with the mindset they've got right now, they're going to struggle. It's week one. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon being a doom monger or whatever you want to call me, but that is poor from Robert Thornton. Forget about losing 7-0. That's just the result. It's the way he played. He'll be bitterly disappointed. There's a lot of things happening in his game that shouldn't be happening. 8-0 up losing, the highest seed in the first round of the World Championship and losing 7-0. This is all in the space of about 6-7 weeks. That's going to hurt him.
Adrian Lewis up next against Michael Smith, who got a walloping first time out tonight. What's he going to learn from that experience?
I'm not sure he's going to learn a lot, but I think he'll be slightly more relaxed. He has to be more relaxed. He didn't look scared, he just looked that little bit tentative. He looked like he was trying not to lose. He's got to get up here and at least win a point, because come next week, he will have played one more game than everyone else, and he may be below them. And once you start thinking, I've got to accumulate points, I've got to, you start chasing, it becomes a difficult thing to do. He's got to just play better, give himself some confidence.
What about Adrian Lewis? He came into the night expecting to play Gary Anderson. He's now playing Michael Smith. What affects him?
No, in my opinion, I think it's better. And this is no offence to Michael Smith, it's not meant. Who would you rather play? Michael Smith or Gary Anderson? I know I'd rather play day in, day out. I'd rather play someone that I know I've got the beating of, rather than someone that has possibly got the beating of me and maybe try too hard against. Adrian Lewis will prefer playing Michael Smith, get off to the winning start, the perfect start, and then kick on. This is a massive game for Michael Smith. He cannot, in my opinion, afford to lose it. It's only night one. You can't lose confidence after a week. It's only a week. But hopefully he can pick himself up and put on a good show for himself. Don't worry about anyone else. Don't worry about sponsors or family or, oh, Michael, you've got it all to come. It's all about him right now. He just needs to make himself feel better.
Jackpot against the Bully Boy, live from Leeds, next.
The Bully Boy
For the match, and he gets it. Michael Smith, this is the biggest and best day of your darting life.
Enjoy the moment, the World Youth Champion.
He's hit the ball. Bully Boy.
He isn't just a one-hit wonder.
Michael Smith has got the bottle.
Sponsors Premier League darts on Sky Sports.